Today's Cowboys Report is made possible by Manscape. 20% off and free shipping on all the latest Manscaped products. Use promo code COWBOYS when you go to manscaped.com to get 20% off and free shipping on all their incredible products out there. Go check them out today. Manscaped.com. Don't forget to utilize that promo code COWBOYS. The link will be in the comments section and in the description. Cowboys rumors led off now by Amari Cooper. Is he disrespected? I'm giving this one 4 stars on this one. I think that Amari Cooper absolutely is disrespected. That's what I think the reality is here. I think that this is an unfair ranking by ESPN. So ESPN pulled over 50 coaches, players, and executives for the 2021 wide receiver rankings. Now, Cooper was not ranked in the top 10. Now, there were no Cowboys in the honorable mention either, which doesn't really make any sense to me. We'll go more in depth as to why I think this happened. I think there's a bit more of an explanation that's been put out there. But here's the ESPN top 10. Devontae Adams was number 1. DeAndre Hopkins was number 2. Stephon Diggs was number 3. Tyreek Hill, number 4. Julio Jones, the latest Tennessee Titan, number 5. Keenan Allen, number 6. Mike Evans is number 7. Michael Thomas is number 8. DK Metcalf is number 9. And A.J. Brown is number 10. So I think at this top 10 isn't that bad. I think these are all legitimate wide receiver ones, and you can make arguments for Allen and Evans and Michael Thomas and DK and A.J. Brown to be in that conversation right alongside Amari Cooper. So I get why those players were put over Amari Cooper. I think there's a rational explanation there. What I don't understand is when the ESPN asked these players, coaches, and execs to rank their 10 or 15, some of the other names that popped on here. I think Allen Robinson's in there. I love Calvin Lee, but I think I'd take Cooper over him. Odell Beckham hasn't been good for 2 years. He was once perhaps the best receiver in the NFL, but not right now. Justin Jefferson's awesome, but I'd have Amari Cooper. I don't understand how Cooper Kupp made this list. Whoever voted for Cooper Kupp is wrong. Like, Cooper Kupp has one 1,000-yard season in his NFL career. And Amari Cooper, by the way, is younger. Amari Cooper is better than Cooper Kupp, who I like, is a great wide receiver 1B. Amari Cooper's better, though. Chris Godwin, I kind of get that one. Same with Adam Thielen. I love Terry McLaurin, but I can't take McLaurin over Amari Cooper. Jarvis Landry does not belong on this list. Now, here's what I think happened. When ESPN asked these alleged coaches and players and execs, etc., to rank all these players, they were told 10 or 15. So just because you see these guys on the honorable mention list does not mean that Jarvis Landry was number 19 on this list. It stopped at number 10. It just means that one random coach, player, or exec put him on there. Amari Cooper, I think unquestionably, is better than several of those receivers on that list. What Amari Cooper has done over his NFL career, outside of one not great year in 2017, has been nothing short of incredibly efficient and reliable. He has been a legitimate number 1 wide receiver. And I think where the root cause is for coaches and players, execs, whatever, to rank Cooper or rank Landry over Cooper or the other Cooper Kupp in this case over Amari, it doesn't make any real logical sense for me. I don't understand it whatsoever. So for Amari to not be top 10, okay, I can kind of sort of get it. I disagree, but I understand where that's coming from. For him to not be mentioned, and for alleged experts, which, hey, I love these lists because they expose how dumb some people around the NFL actually are. But Jarvis Landry, Cooper Kupp on their list and not guys like Amari Cooper, I don't understand that at all. It also, by the way, brings up this interesting point for me, and we're going to go back to the player card here for a little bit too here, producer Jeremy. If the argument is Dak Prescott isn't great because of how great the supporting cast is, how come not a single Cowboys receiver or tight end was on that list? Because the tight ends list came out too, and Schultz and Jarwin, unsurprisingly, were not mentioned. So which is it? there's a disconnect there. Whichever way you want to fall, there's a disconnect there as far as I'm concerned. So what I want you guys to do right now is rank Amari Cooper for me among all the NFL wide receivers. I saw a lot of 8s when we were doing this earlier. Is he 10, 12, 13? Where is he for you? Get your votes in for me in the comments section. That's it now. Ezekiel Elliott, is his bounce back season coming? The redemption tour. Still 3 stars, but it's almost 4 stars. I almost bumped it up after his most recent update right here because Ezekiel Elliott on Instagram went and threw out some photo dumps of himself, and there were some interesting ones out there. Now, I had an argument in the office about why I was on board CeeDee Lamb Best Shape of Life season. I said, once the shirt comes off and they show you how great in shape they actually are, then it's Best Shape of Life season. I don't know about you guys. I think Zeke looks pretty rocked up here. I think he looks like he's in incredible shape. I can keep saying I'm in Best Shape of Life season until the shirt comes off. It's not true. By the way, the shirt's not coming off because I'm not. And I respect you guys too much to subject you to my dab. That's not something I'm really trying to do right now. But I think Elliott looks great. Now, I still want to see it on the field. I want to see more explosive plays. I want to see fewer fumbles as well. But I think it's okay to be drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit right now. The Zeke Redemption Tour is underway. I think that's where we're at right now for the Dallas Cowboys. So what do you guys think? Are you drinking the Zeke Kool-Aid? Type in O for oh yeah, or type N for nah. You're not buying it. You're still doubting Elliott. Get your votes in for me in the comments. O for oh yeah, N for nah. Now, in his career, there's been some regression from Elliott. Now, this stat here is fairly heavily volume-focused. Yards per game, yes, the efficiency matters, but the Cowboys were bad last year. They couldn't throw it all that often, and they've become more pass-happy, as they should with Dak Prescott under center or in the shotgun or whatever. So the yards per game, not a huge concern, but it's still a pretty steep cliff from 2019 versus 2020. And the efficiency went down from Zeke as well. Yeah, he had 244 carries. He didn't get to 1,000 yards, though. That was a bit of a surprise for the Cowboys and for Elliott, and he was close, but came up just short on that one. But 4 yards per carry, it's not particularly good. Now, I am fully expecting a better Zeke this season. The question is, how much better will Zeke Elliott be this upcoming season? The offensive line, if they're healthy, is going to benefit Zeke. I thought the best thing Elliott did last year was take those gains that were going to be -1 yard, 0 yards, and find a way to get 1 or 2. And that's valuable, but I wanted more out of it, and I think we'll get that this season. Now, today's show, as I mentioned, made possible by our friends over at Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. That only happens, though, when you use promo code Cowboys at checkout. You can get the Lawnmower 4.0. It's new and improved, better ergonomic design, multiple heads, by the way, so you can adjust just how much space you want to have with some excess hair down there. So go check out the Lawnmower 4.0 and all the other great Manscaped products at manscaped.com. Don't forget to use promo code Cowboys at checkout. By the way, that'll save you the money and get you the free shipping. The link and the code will be in the comments section and in the description. Let's talk trade now for our last 2 rumors here. How about trading for Xavien Howard? I'm still putting this at 1 star, although I think an Xavien Howard trade in general might actually go down, and I'd be lying if I said I had 0 interest. So, Bleacher Report mentioned the Cowboys as a fit. There's been some other speculative articles out there as well. I'm still unconvinced that the Cowboys are going to go after Howard because of what they've invested elsewhere. This trade idea, though, from Bleacher Report, I'm not going to lie, does intrigue me. Cowboys get Xavien Howard, Dolphins get Connor McGovern, and a first-round pick. Now, we'll get into the cornerback side of it, but even though I like McGovern, I think he can start, if it's a first and McGovern for a top 5 corner, I kind of want to do that. So what do you guys think? Are you doing this trade? I'm not sure the Dolphins do it, though, and in general, again, I doubt a trade happens. But what do you think? D for deal, or type in ND for no deal. Yes, the Cowboys have invested in second-round picks, Trevon Diggs and Kelvin Joseph, and I don't know what this would mean for Joseph. We'll go into that more in depth in a second. But Xavien Howard is awesome. This is one of, and I think had the best year among all cornerbacks last season. Now, he got targeted a lot because opposing teams didn't throw that much at Byron Jones. So, yes, he allowed 719 yards and allowed 4 touchdowns. I get that. If those are the yards and touchdowns that you allow, when you pick off 10 passes and break up 20, I don't really care that much. That's worth it. The 10 interceptions is an obscene number, and he will regress. There's no way he picks off 10 balls again. But even if it's 5, seriously, when was the last time the Cowboys had 5 interceptions by one guy in a season? It's been a very, very long time. Now, the number one reason why I don't think this goes down is the money involved. The Cowboys are not going to pay Byron Jones $16.5 million. They weren't even close to that in their offer of him. Xavien Howard does have 4 years left on his contract with not that much of a signing bonus that's been paid out. So because of that, a new deal for Howard, which he wants, would be expensive for the Cowboys. Now, if you could get him for $16 or $17 million, I'm intrigued. That I would probably do. But if he wants 20, from the Cowboys' perspective, agree with it or disagree with it like I kind of do, that one's not going to go down. Now, the other potential red flag here is, okay, what do you do with Kelvin Joseph? And to a certain extent, Nashawn Wright, but I'd say less so, because you drafted Wright thinking he'd probably be your number 3 corner on the outside anyway. You're keeping Diggs, duh, right? So then what do you do with Kelvin Joseph? Do you try him at nickel? Hasn't played it. Make him a safety? Could work, I guess, maybe, but you're interjecting some uncertainty in a guy you hope ends up being a stud in the second round. So I would call if I ran the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys are going to call, at least not with the same level of interest. I would like to be wrong, and I think the cost probably becomes a bit too much for them, even if they do. Now, if you guys want to help us out here, we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers here on our YouTube channel. I want to be the first Cowboys YouTube channel at that 100K mark, and producer Brett has threatened my job if we don't get there before my baby girl comes in November. So help me not get fired. Help me feed my family by subscribing right now. The trade idea next up here, Marcus Maye, and you can make this Marcus Williams if you want to. But this is fake news, and this is coming from me, the ultimate safety believer for the Cowboys. It's not going to happen. In particular, the trade floated out by Heavy.com. I know the author, so I don't want to be too mean here, but it's not going to happen. Look, the Jets and May are not getting a long-term deal done. And although I kid and joke about, Jets safety, Cowboys, it's a joke. I'm not serious on that front. May would be an awesome addition for the Cowboys. The trade idea, though, floated out by Heavy.com, A, unrealistic, B, also not good for the Cowboys. A second-round pick and Tyler Biadasz to the Jets for Marcus Maye. First off, if the Jets were to trade Marcus Maye right now, I don't think they'd get a second-round pick. In and of itself, I think a third is probably a bit more in line with his value because he's almost 30 and has to get paid. But to also move Tyler Biadasz, even though I'm not sold he's the next Travis Frederick, is a bit of a non-starter for me right now because I don't have a center if it's not Tyler Biadasz. Now, I could maybe try and bring back Joe Looney, I guess, but doesn't help out my issues long-term. Matt Farniok, Connor McGovern, those guys not necessarily are true safe or two centers that I trust long-term, so I don't think it's a fit in the end for the Cowboys. And as we'll get into, money is a problem. At least this team chooses it to be a problem. So speaking of trades, I'll prioritize this, but it's fun. Name your dream trade target for the Cowboys. Who is it? What player would you love to acquire no matter what? Get your votes in for me in the comments section. Now, beyond the trade value involved in that idea, there are some other roadblocks here. For starters, the Jets and Cowboys front offices do not like each other. There is some bad blood there, due in part, if not in large part, due to what happened with the Jamal Adams situation. Remember when the Jamal Adams trade rumors started? Remember where those came from? Dallas. Dallas media was the one who leaked it. The Cowboys, I think, tried to finesse Jamal Adams just a little bit, and it blew up in their faces. It was a bit of a disaster on that front. And not only that, being forced to take on a $10+ million cap hit for this year is an issue for Dallas. Now, again, they could work their way around it. They would be able to make it work if they wanted to. And you can make an argument that a player of Marcus Maye's skill caliber and his impact and all that stuff is worth working it around for. He's great in coverage, too, but beyond just being able to make some tackles, he was very good in coverage last year for the Jets. But the Cowboys have been hesitant to restructure a lot of their key deals. A $10 million cap hit for a safety seems unlikely for what the Cowboys have wanted to do at the position for far too long. Now, I'm down to bring in somebody. I've made that very clear before, but it seems more likely, at least starter-wise, it'll end up being Donovan Wilson. It'll end up being Damontae Kazee. Maybe that changes next year. And next year's the year the Cowboys go get me a big-time impact safety. But I somehow doubt it on that front. We'll have to wait and see on that decision in the end for the Dallas Cowboys. I'd love to get Maye, probably unlikely in free agency next year, and frankly, very unlikely, not going to happen outright when it comes to a trade before this season.